So good morning, student. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Let us wait for 5 minutes and we will start our class. Okay. So let us start our class. So basically, this is our first class, and the subject is transportation engineering. The subject code is PCC C307. So in this subject, we will get familiar about different concepts of highway engineering. Okay. So basically,
Sir,
yes,
sorry, it's not out. It's not
it's not
hearing
audible.
properly. Sir, your voice is not clear.
It is not clear now.
Yes, yes. It's clear. Yeah.
It's okay. So in this subject, we will get to know about different aspect of the transportation engineering. So whenever we are talking about the transportation engineering, so basically there are different parts of it. Okay. So first one is surface transportation, air transportation, and water transportation. In surface transportation also, there are two parts, that is highway engineering and railway engineering. So basically this subject will only deals with highway engineering. Now our first part is road development in India. So basically before starting this portion, let us discuss about the importance of transportation engineering. So basically, for the development of any area, okay, or any portion of area, that transportation is very much vital. Okay, without the improvement of the transportation facilities, no place can be improved. So, for example, let us give some practical example. Suppose your college area, okay, that is downtown university. So basically, if we consider that area is in a remote place of Guwahati city. Now consider if there is no transportation facilities. Okay, like if you consider uh, uh, 5 to 10 years ago, in that case, that area was very much remote. Okay, and that road development of that area was also very poor. There was no considerable road portion. So after college has established, in that case, there was a need for some development in. Okay, why it is needed? Because now accessibility has to be increased. so as to access the university and other facilities. So gradually that area developed. Okay. So similarly, for the development of any area, road transportation is very much important. Another thing is, suppose one remote village is there. So if transportation facilities is not available over there, in that case, whatever product is developed in that village area, that cannot be transported to other places. Okay, and for this reason, that business activities can also be hampered for this area, and which will ultimately reduce all the opportunities of that area. So basically, for all around development of an area, transportation is very much important. Basically, transportation improve the accessibility of that area. Now, if we consider about the road sector at a glance, so in that case, Indian total road network is 3.3 million kilometer, and it is second highest in the world, and it is contributes 5% to the GDP and second largest investment. Okay. Now, this investment of the transportation sector, it majorly it is done by government, but sometimes government follow different public-private partnership for the development purpose. Okay. So the major road sector or major road in India is national highway and state highway. So national highway comprising about only 2% of the total road length, but it carries 40% of the total traffic. Okay, so from this data, you can easily visualize the importance of the national highway. Okay, after that, state highway that also comprises of 18% of the total road traffic, and 18% of the land, and it carries a 40% of total road traffic. Now, if we consider about the national highway traffic growth rate, in that case, we can see that the traffic growth rate is 7 to 10% yearly. Okay, so for this traffic growth, the number of vehicles are also increasing very much rapidly, and this number of growth is basically very much rapid in the city area. For this reason, traffic congestions, noise pollution, air pollution, etc. are associated with the development also. Okay, so another thing is passenger traffic. Passenger traffic is projected to grow up by 12 to 15% per annum, and number of vehicles increased at a 30% per annum. So these are basically some statistics which shows that what is the condition of the road traffic. So our road traffic or the number of vehicles are increasing at a 30% per annum. Okay, so for this reason, we have to match with that increasing number of vehicles, and we need to accommodate that number of vehicles in the road. Okay, if it is it cannot be accommodated, in that case, it will lead to different problems. Okay, now different type of roads, that is national highway, state highway, they are monitored or administered by different organizations. Okay, so first one is national highway. So this national highway is administered by Ministry of Road Transport, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. It is called MORTH, and that is very much important organization. Then National Highway Authority of India, that is NHAI, and border road organization. Basically, these organizations are responsible for the development and maintenance of the national highway. Okay, so they will generally call for tender and other things. Then state highway is generally administered by the state government, public work departments, road development corporations, and infrastructure development boards. So this state highway is generally administered by all these state bodies. Then, if you come for the rural road, these rural roads are generally administered by Ministry of Rural Development, and this Ministry of Rural Development is directly responsible for the PMGSY road construction. Then, state government and rural road development agencies and village panchayat for small rural roads. Now, for construction of the highways, there are different factors which you need to consider. So, first one is highway planning and development issues. So, whenever you want to develop one particular road, in that case, that planning and development issue is a huge thing. You need to plan for that road, keeping in mind that the road traffic in future will be increased. So keeping it in mind, you need to plan for that area. Okay, and you need to choose the different areas through which your road will pass on. Okay, so that is a huge development and planning issues, and there are different activities are related with it. So we'll briefly discuss about highway planning and development issues the later on. So next one is functional and structural design of highways. After you decide the planning portion, then the main thing is you need to consider about the design of the highways. Now, this design of the highways is basically depend on road traffic conditions, number of vehicles which is possibly be over that road, and the condition of the soil and the surrounding, if there is any gradient and other things, like if that area is a hilly area or it is a mountainous region or it is a plain region, etc. After that, some issues are related to construction, that how you will construct that road, from where you will get the raw materials, and then maintenance and management of the highways. This is very much a vital issue, that is the maintenance. So sometimes what happen after the constructing the road, within 2 or 3 years that road got damaged. So basically this maintenance and management of the highway is a major issue. Now, factors determining highway planning and development issues. So, in that issue, so first one is financing issue. So, basically, whenever you need to construct a road, in that case, huge financing is necessary. No. Now, the question is who will finance for your road? Just a minute. Okay, who will finance your road? So generally there are different organization and different government organization who is generally responsible for the financing of the road. Okay, now since the investment is huge, the government with a view to encourage the private participation in this developmental project, some PPP model, that is public private partnership, is offered. Okay, and they followed different business model. Okay, now these business models may be boot, it may be bolt, or it may be bought. Now the question is, what are these? So basically, both means build, own, operate, and transfer. So in that case, what happens? Government will build some road. After that, they will lease this property to some private operators, and that private operators will be responsible for the maintenance of that road for a particular period of time. Now, in that particular period of time, to bear the cost of the maintenance, the private operators will charge some money from the users, that is us. Okay, and this charging is generally carried out or done by the toll plazas. Okay, so after a particular time is over or after the lease period is over, the private operator will again hand over that project to the government. Now, next one is bolt. Bolt means build, own, lease, and transfer. In that case, what will happen? That private operator will build some portion of the road. Okay, after building, they will operate the road and they will charge some amount of money to use that portion of the road. So generally, this handover, that is this bolt, this is generally done for 30 or 35 years. So after that particular time period, that private operator will hand over the total project to the government. Next one is bought, which means build, operate, and transfer. In that case, suppose a particular area or particular property is there, and that particular property is a private property. So in that case, what government will lease that property, will take the lease of that property, and government will use that property by giving some money to the private operator. So basically, these are different business model which they are following for the road construction. Now, next one is access management of the highways. Now, this access management is a set of techniques that are used to control access to highways and other roadways. Access means how you can enter the road portion. Okay, now this access management is generally used for the improvement of the road traffic. Okay, so there are different access management tool like signaling system. Okay, this is also a access management tool, or some traffic plazas, or some underpass or overpass. These are all the tools of access management. Okay. Now the benefits of access management include improved movement of the traffic, reduced crashes, fewer vehicle conflicts, and minimize interference to the traffic. Now coming to the next point, environmental impact assessment of the highway development. Now, this environmental impact assessment is very much important because whenever you are constructing some road, if that road passes through some vegetation, in that case, it is possible that you need to cut all these trees. Okay, so it will hamper the environmental condition in that site. And again, after the constructing the road, that road will be used by different road traffic or different vehicles. Okay, now this vehicle will emit different type of greenhouse gases, which will be detrimental for our environment condition. So for this reason, what happens sometimes, the side of the roads, some trees are planted. So basically, the purpose of the trees is to absorb all the greenhouse gases which is emitted from different type of vehicles. Okay, and it will make the road structure self-sustainable in viewpoint of the environmental sector. Moreover, if some vegetation or some trees are planted in the divider. In that case, what will happen during the night time? That trees is responsible to reduce the glare, and it will enhance the uh, condition of the road. Now, minimizing adverse environmental impacts can be achieved by integrating environmental consideration into highway development planning, design, and construction. So, planting of different vegetation, this is one type of development planning. Then highway safety. So design standards are essential for highway safety. Highway safety means in terms of your vehicle operation, in terms of road construction and maintenance. So that the variables considered include functional classification, volume, traffic mix, terrain, roadside environment, and character of travel. Now, this highway safety is also very much important. Suppose you are constructing a road in the hilly area. Okay, now in the hilly area, it may be possible that you need to cut some of the hills. Okay, so if that hill portion is not stable, in that case, it will lead to soil erosion and other adverse effects during the rainy season. So you need to look for that. Another thing is you need to design your road based on the road traffic condition, that is the total number of vehicles which you are assuming to have on that road. Suppose you have constructed one road, and that road is very much narrower in accordance with the road traffic condition which uh, can be observed over there. So it will lead to traffic congestions and it will lead to chaotic conditions over there. So this condition must be followed whenever you are constructing some roads. Now next is road traffic noise. So basically, road traffic noise is considered as one of the greatest public annoyance, and it is often generated by the unstable traffic. So whenever there is chaotic condition, in that case only the traffic noise occurs. Now this traffic noise, there are different traffic noise prediction models which can be employed in your design, and this road traffic noise is generally minimized by different access management tool which we have already discussed. Okay, bot. Here bot means some of you have requested to discuss this bot. Bot means, suppose let me discuss with some example, it will be better. Suppose you have a building in the market area. Okay. Now, some government employee or government will approach you to hand over that project or to lease the project to the government. Okay. So you lease that property to the government. So what happens? Government will get a ready-made property. So after that, government will operate that property as per their need. Suppose government try to open one office over there, so they can do that. So basically that is what. So already there is some property and government will acquire that property. Okay, by paying some suitable money uh, as per the lease amount. So after some time, when you think that whatever money you have invested over that area, that is or over that portion that is already been paid by the government, you can hand over that project to the government. So basically that is bot. So I think it is clear bot. Is it clear? Okay. Now this portion, this whatever we have discussed, that is the financing of the highways, that access management of the highways, environmental impact assessment, highway safety, road traffic noise. So basically all these things are your planning and development issues. Okay, so before construction of the any road, you need to consider all these factors. So then come to the functional and structural design of the highways. So there are different factors which consider the functional and structural design of the highways. So it refers to the calculation and analysis made by transportation designers to fit the highway to the topography of the site while meeting the safety, service, and performance standards. So here you can notice one thing: fit the highway to the topography of the site. So basically that means based on the topography of the site, you need to design your road, and it should meet all the safety and service conditions and performance conditions. Okay. Now to meet this objective, the following consideration have to be properly addressed. So there are different parameters which you need to consider whenever you are designing some road. So this parameter, first one is design speed and design traffic volume. So basically that parameter, these two parameters, that is design speed and traffic volume, they are the most important parameter for designing any road. Okay, these are the most important parameters. So because from the traffic volume, traffic volume is number of vehicles which are assumed to pass a particular section of the road in a particular time, in a unit time. So generally it is expressed as vehicle per hour. So basically traffic volume signifies the total number of vehicles over a particular road section. Now, this design traffic volume is very much important because based on the design traffic volume, you will know what should be the width of the road. Okay, so if the width is less in accordance with the design traffic volume, in that case, it will uh, lead to chaotic condition. And if it is more, in that case, it is simply just waste of money because maximum portion of the of your road section remain unutilized by the low traffic volume. Next one is design speed. So basically this design speed is also important. So based on this design speed, you need to reconsider or consider about different characteristic of the highway, like your horizontal curves. Some curves are there. Okay, some vertical curves are there. So whenever you are designing these horizontal curves, these vertical curves, and all these different parameters like signaling designs, okay, and intersection designs. So all these things are governed by the design speed. Design speed is main parameter of any structural design or functional design of the highway. Next one is number of lanes and lane width. So after you know about your traffic volume, you know about the width of the road. So next task is what should be the number of lanes over there. Okay, and if you need to provide any divider over there, what should be the volume of the opposing moving traffic. So if the opposing moving traffic is considerably large, in that case you can go for the traffic divider. It will minimize the conflict between the vehicles coming from different directions. Then level of service. So basically level of service is the state of the road, whether the road condition is good for vehicle traffic, whether the road condition is good for your for the drivers. So etc is called as the level of service. That is how the road is performing, whether it is performing well in terms of that the vehicle road traffic, whether it is performing well in terms of the driver conditions or in terms of the user conditions. Next is Sight distance. Okay, sight distance is basically the visibility ahead of you. Okay, suppose you are driving a vehicle. In that case, you need to see what is ahead of you. Okay, so if you cannot see what is ahead of you, in that case, it will lead to accident. So basically, sight distance is the visibility ahead of you. Now, this for the straight path, this visibility or this sight distance is not a problem at all. So this sight distance plays important role in the horizontal curve section and in the vertical curve section. So in the horizontal curve, if visibility is not appropriate or it is not much as per the design requirements, in that case, it cannot see the vehicles coming from the opposite directions, and in that case, it can lead to some accident. So sight distance is very much important. So we'll discuss about the sight distance. There are different numericals and derivation of the sight distance in the later chapters. Then alignment. Alignment is the central line of the highway. Then super elevation and the grades. So basically, super elevation is that the portion of the highway which is raised in comparison with the other side of the road to nullify the effect of the centrifugal force in the horizontal curve. So later on we'll discuss about this super elevation. There are some derivations and numericals. Then grades. So there are different type of grades. That is ruling gradient, plane gradients, etc., which we'll discuss later on. Then cross section, there are different cross sectional element, horizontal and vertical. Clearance or sight distance, these are same thing. Now coming to the next, facilitate easy grade and curvature. Now, whenever you are constructing a road, you need to provide easy grade. Easy grade means suppose you are constructing a road in the hilly areas. So often you have seen that the road in the hilly areas are generally that is in zigzag motion. So why this is so? So this is so basically to accommodate the easy grading of the road. Okay, so if it is constructed in a straight way, in that case there would be too much of up and too much of down, and some of the vehicles and maximum of the vehicles cannot uh, operate in that condition. So there are different standard conditions or standard parameters for the grade, and whenever you are designing some road, you need to consider that standard specifications. Now enabling ruling gradient in most section. So basically we'll discuss this later on. Void sudden changes in sight distance. Void sudden changes means suppose in a straight highway there is enough sight distance, so suddenly one horizontal curve appears, and it has been found that sight distance has gradually decreased. Not gradually decreased, suddenly decreased. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose this is a straight highway and you can see ahead of you for a greater distance. In that case, it is possible that you will adopt a higher speed to operate over that road. So if a horizontal curve appeared, so you will generally adopt that speed only, and it will lead to some problem because in the horizontal curve, if there is no considerable side distance, in that case it can lead to some traffic accidents. Then avoid sharp horizontal curves. So basically sharp horizontal curves you need to avoid uh, so that that side distance, adequate side distance can be provided. And another thing, if we provide sharp horizontal curves, in that case the speed of the vehicles will considerably less over that area, and the action of the centrifugal force over that curve will also be very much higher. So in that case you have to provide a higher super elevation. Now, next is a highway designer is concerned with at least four major areas of design at different stages of project planning and design phases. Now, these are the four different phases. First one is location design. So basically, location design takes place at the earlier stage of project planning. It refers to the macro level routing of a planned highway connecting two points through the existing highway communities and natural things. So basically through this location design you will get to know through which points your road will pass. So basically in the location design there are different parameters. So in the location design basically you will go for a map study for a particular area. So from that map you will get to know or you have a rough idea about the topographical condition over that area. So based on the map study, you will suggest different alternative road to connect different cities or different locations. Okay, so basically this is the location design. That is, you will study one map or you can uh, uh, design that location based on the aerial survey, aerial photography survey. Next point is access design. So with all the necessary input like lane use, master plan, population, survey maps, geology, ecological and environmental condition, etc., several potential routes are drawn up by the designer on a contour map. So you know about the contour map. After final approvals from the competent authority or competent person, the designer then proceeds with the detailed alignment, cross-sectional and access design. So this thing, basically these parameters or these two parameters is coming to the highway survey for highway alignment. So we will discuss this in our next 2 or 3 classes. Then highway alignment. So highway alignment is the position or layout of central line of the highway on the ground. So you know how to do this alignment. You have done this in your survey class. So basically for the highways, you need to lay out first the central line. After that, you will decide the width of the lane and then we will go for the side portion. So generally highway alignment, it includes straight path, horizontal deviation and curves. So these are the things. Then coming to the next point, cross-sectional design. So there are different elements of the cross-sectional design. These are right of way, carriageway. Right of way is basically the total land acquired by the road transport authority uh, for the expansion of the road for future development. Carriageway is basically the blacktop portion of the road on which the vehicle traffic is moving. Then camber or cross slope. Camber is basically the raised portion along the center line of the road, and basically this is provided for the drainage purpose. Then curves. Curve is basically the boundary between the road and the shoulders. Then road margins. Then shoulders is about the shoulder is basically you can term this is a footpath. Then parking lanes, bus base is some in some road some designated places are there for the buses to park or the buses to alight and boarding the passengers. Then service road is in highway in some portion, another small portion is allocated for the service of the road. Suppose one vehicle got damaged, in that case you can put that in the service road and wait over there for the maintenance to be occurred. Then footpath, basically footpath and shoulders, in some cases these are similar, in some cases this is different. So we'll get to know about all these things in our next class. Now coming to the next, that is road projects in India. Now the construction of the highway had reached an all-time high of 6,029 kilometers during fiscal year 2015-16, and it is expected to increase with a higher pace. Now, National Highway Authority of India plans 50,000 kilometer road projects worth 250 billion in next 6 years. Now, the Road Transport and the Highway Ministry has decided to use the new materials and techniques in highway projects on experimental basis to promote innovation in the construction of the roads. So, let us give one example about this innovation. So, in the hilly areas, previously the road was constructed as per the traditional method. But now, in some of the national highway construction, I have observed that to increase the stability of the road, they are using some different techniques, some different new techniques. They are using some geofibers or other things, okay, and geotextiles to increase the stability of the road. So these are different methods which will enhance that road development portion. Now the use of latest equipment would also result in saving in construction period. Okay, these are the links which you can follow. So can you give your attendance? Our class will be over within 5 minutes. Please provide your attendance.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Do we need to provide our attendance in chat box?
In the chat box, just provide your roll number.
Okay.
So anybody left?